Hi everyone, Chris England here. It's been a good amount of time. I have a good amount, probably what is it, 130 maybe summons in total. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one in terms of chronologically, that being the Rearmed Hero Leaf, as well as the Three Hopes banner that I pulled on. Then I'll go into Legendary Ninian, and then finally will be the pulls for the new Harvest Festival banner. So with that, well, starting with the Rearmed, I do really love the idea of Rearmed Hero. I do hope that we get more, not just like simplistic designs like the revival of Leaf Air, but possibly other options. But for now, that I'll start the summoning session. So here we go. First couple summons in, and we get a Lilith. Not the fallen one, which is something that I would actually prefer getting, but the original one with a plus in res, a minus in tech. I already have this unit, so this could be a start of a plus 10 project. I don't personally think that I think that she definitely does need some kind of refine to put her on something similar to what current units are. But I do also understand the value of what she has in terms of her kit. To me, she's just joint drive attack fodder. So one thing that I have been kind of posting around is the copium of doing Tokyo Mirage Sessions versions of Fade Tubers with their favorite character as their Mirage. Um, for this one, what would be my choice? I really don't have a particular choice in terms of units for my Mirage. I don't have any particular unit that intrigues me. I'd say that if I was going to choose something, a unit, I would be very interested in Ursula. Or maybe Lloyd would also be someone that intrigues me in terms of the choices that has. But as for actual units, I really don't have any say in this one. I'm making it because I know that there are certain other Fate tubers who have specific likes in terms of their characters. I know that both Pruchi and Thera, the average gamer, actively love Azura, but I have a feeling that they would have to do that as kind of a they'd have to figure out who would want it more in that sense. I know that there's kind of like talk of I think Maiko was originally designed to be a playable character with either Olivia or Fina as the dancer as a refresher unit, but I really don't personally know. I'm definitely interested in anyone's comments what they would like theirs to be. I also do hope that again that TMS gets more attention after this Hall of Forms revival. But on to the next portion of summoning.
I am the one, I'm here, infiltrated. Your time has come to be downgraded. I've already won, as far as can see. So keep your eyes on me. I recommend you keep your distance. I'm combustible. Keep on burning day and night. I'm unstoppable. I'm searing hot. I am untouchable. Yes, I'm on fire, ignited by a burning desire. Can't contain the cyber through your try to spy. All the time you try to stop me, I defy. There's no one bringing me down. I am the one, I'll be best up and down now. When all this said and done, the day is mine. Oh, like a frostbite burn me, it's into your bones. I'll be the thief that steals through the top of all your thrones. I'll keep on pushing on, I through the storm. I'm insatiable, like an unrelenting swarm. Insurmountable, out of perform. I'm uncontainable. Yes, I'm on fire, ignited by a burning desire. Keep on routing holes out through the eyes at night. The sun will clean the frozen walls that climb so high. There's no keeping me down. I am the one, I'll be busted by night now. When all is said and done. Oh, it's winter blues, crazy hearts will I'll be the hit that melts me, watch it fade. I recommend you keep your distance. I'm combustible. Keep on burning day and night. I'm not stoppable. I'm searing hot. I am untouchable. I am the one I'm here, infiltrated. Your time has come to be downgraded. I'm already won, as far as can see. So keep your eyes on me. Yes, I'm on fire, ignited by a burning desire. Can't contain the evil through your try to spy. All the time you try to stop me, I defy. There's no one bringing me down. I am the one you take recognize now. I know the one of places that you can't outrun now. I've already won, but there's a day on the line. When all is said and done, the day is mine. The day is mine. I am the one, I'll be bested by night now. When all is said and done. Yeah.
And about 25 summons in further, we get a Jill. This time, luckily enough, her IVs are plus speed, minus HP. However, I already have a +1 that is already plus speed, or at least +2. So this is either a merge project, just like Lilith is, or it's an option to give speed defense rain to a unit. And while I don't like transferring a soul unit as a just for one tier 3 skill, I do admit that that is a very, very, very tempting thing, especially since there is the possibility of speed defense hold, which could actually make a unit more dangerous. Probably if I was going to put this into a unit, it would be my Summer Alincia as a +9 merge project, and I'm very honestly thinking that I'd keep it at +9 instead of going up to +10, since it's only going to gain that the last 2 points are going to go to defense and res, which are not very valuable for her kit in general. For another question on that idea, do I think it's very worth it to go fully up to plus 10. Um, I think that if you have the feathers or you have the merges or you have the value, then yes. But because feathers can tend to be kind of a pain in the butt to farm at this point, I do have Fate Pass. I do have the ability to constantly gain feathers. And I also don't have any units that have hit the HM limit of 8,000. Most of them are still like 100 or less, maybe like 500 or less. So I do have that ability. But I do kind of wish that there was a better way to actively farm for stuff, especially since it takes a lot more feathers to actively try and get a unit to 5 star from 4 star to 5 star as opposed to just whatever else it is. Probably the best example is using even a plus 10 4 star to 5 star is still only 17,000 feathers, which from the perspective of someone who's very very attempting to be less pay to play, more free to play, um it feels like a lot for the amount of time that you put into it, the grind. Now, granted, I did take a break for 2 years from the game, so I really can't say much outside of whatever else it is. So that's actually my viewpoint. I'd like to hear what people have to say about feathers in general. I might be just like the only person who feels like it's overpriced to try and promote units. So let's continue. We round the corner for the 40th summon to the Spark and get a Fallen Julia. This one's a plus attack minus speed, so this will either complement the one that I already have with a plus res or become the base, which I believe I made the base instead. So the base is a plus attack instead of plus res. And then, of course, for the choice of Spark, I did actively choose of course the Rearmed Hero. I was excessively tempted to go after Hilda, but I figure since Hilda's actually now in the regular pool, there is the option of pulling her on a different banner, even if it's not necessarily going to be a guaranteed pull, or even of it's going to be a very rare pull, especially since I am missing a good amount of units in general. Um, so probably another question would be, what are my opinions on rearmed heroes not being added to the normal pool? On further thought, I don't get why they would do that. I get why they would do, like, I find it interesting how they released Ascended Heroes, and Ascended Heroes are in the normal pool. I guess it, and then duo slash harmonic units are only A in seasonal banners, and B, there's only one in the actual pool. So I guess from my perspective, it is very, very hard to understand why that is. I can kind of understand certain aspects of it, like it's kind of like legendary or mythic, but at the same time, this is a very, very useful thing for any player. For free to play, they're very good units that offer a very good weapon. But also at the other end of the spectrum, for a mid-range to heavy pay-to-play player, it's a very good way to transfer a second set of skills without going too far in. I did actually manage to give a distant counter skill to him, as well as I don't know if I gave him an assist skill, but I gave him distant counter so that he could pass distant counter onto a different unit without sacrificing himself. Granted, I made the mistake of not transferring over a silver sword to the unit that I gave his weapon to, so I did miss out on that. But I did give him distant counter as well as ruptured sky as a just in case kind of thing. And now let's go ahead, now that the summoning for the banner is done, let's actually go ahead and do a little bit more summoning in general. This is not going to continue on towards any summonings for Legendary Ninian or any summons for the special banner, but these are just daily summons that I might have gotten while picking through what I had. So let's continue with the extra.
Spin the shit. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one flow, can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a stick. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one flow, can you get it? ジャパニがヒストリー学習帳みたいになんでもないことかっこ略法 Hey yo I believe これは大義理 Yo 静まり返ったらやいげり輪になって踊りたいのにやっぱ取り合わなきゃいけないんだはいチーズでピューチーズ背もたれのないクッキース달리는 섹시 물러간 때 애니메이션 Much no help Nick dance and dance 마오연이 movie back 우클리를 down Look at me 시다다가 I'm going 자크니크 교식은 도리 potential 담아나시 death row 신호기야 마타기 음마타 그 image of you break it down Don't care I don't care Spin the shit. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one flow, can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a stick. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one flow, can you get it? ジャパニがヒストリー学習帳みたいになんでもないことかっこ略法 Hey yo I believe これは大義理 Yo 静まり返ったらやいげり輪になって踊りたいのにやっぱ取り合わなきゃいけないんだはいチーズでピューチーズ背もたれのないクッキース달리는 섹시 물러간 때 애니메이션 Much no help Nick dance and dance 마오연이 movie back 우클리를 down Look at me 시다다가 I'm going 자크니크 교식은 도리 potential 담아나시 death row 신호기야 마타기 음마타 그 image of you break it down Don't care I don't care I don't play such a dumb game You know what I mean? I don't need a seat I sit where I wanna sit Where I sit my own seat No doubt I don't believe the hype No need to think about Even on the cloud I lean on the haze and dance Grab a stick Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one flow Can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a stick Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one flow Can you get it? Can you get it? We wanna live our lives as we dance Complete, no compete No C, just see free. No C, just see free. We wanna liberalize as we dance. Pure play, no complaint. No C, just see free. No C, just see free.
New London, Paris and Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong. Even if you're not there, you can be a king or queen on a game you play. So just do it. With silky flow, maybe a patrol. Keep the game in control. Side punch, gonna count down.
最後の一脚誰のもんで誰のもん最後の一脚誰のもんで俺のもんだ俺のもんお前が俺の上に腰掛けた次の瞬間尻餅をつくお前が俺の上に腰掛けた次の瞬間に勝負がつく Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a seat. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it? Don't care, I don't care, I don't play such a dumb game. I don't need a seat, I sit where I wanna sit. Where I sit, my own seat, no doubt. I don't believe the hype, no need to think about. Even on the cloud, I lean on the haze and dance. Spin the shit, spin the shit. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a seat. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? 一人学習帳みたいになんでもないことか攻略法アイディップルを体験に静まり返ったらやいけに輪になって踊りたいのにやっぱ取り合わないといけないんだはいチーズでブーチーズ背もたれのないクーキーズ
Time sexy, we like the enemy moves. Want you to help me dance and dance. 마오 열린 뮤비 바이브 그릴 down. Look at me, 시다나가 I'm going. 작품이 크게 오시고 너 돈이 potential. 다만 다시 death row. 신호기와 맞대기 음악대기 let me you break down. Don't care, I don't care. I don't play such a dumb game. I don't need a seat, I sit where I wanna sit. Where I sit, my own seat, no doubt. I don't believe the hype, no need to think about. Even on the cloud, I lean on the haze and dance. Grab a seat. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a seat. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it? We wanna label us as we dance. Complain, not compete. No C, just see free. No C, just see free. We wanna label us as we dance. Pure play, no complaint. No C, just see free. No C, just see free. New London, Paris and Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong. Even if you're not there, you can be a king or queen on a game you play. So just do it. We're still people with your patrol. Keep the game in control. Stack hands, gonna count down. 最後の一脚誰のもんで誰のもん最後の一脚誰のもんで俺のもんだ俺のもんお前が俺の上に腰掛けた次の瞬間尻餅をつくお前が俺の上に腰掛けた次の瞬間に勝負がつく Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it? Grab a seat. Are you ready? Are you ready? If there's one thought, can you get it? Can you get it?
And we round out this summoning session with a couple more. This time I did actually summon on... So I did manage to get very lucky on the banner for, I believe, Surtur and Moose Spells Battle. Finally getting Leijern as a plus attack minus resistance. Very, very good IVs for a unit. I also managed to, on the Welcome Rearmed Heroes banner, I did not manage to get any single one of the focus units, and while I was specifically aiming for, I believe, Gustav was the only one that I was actively missing, I did manage to pull a minus res, or plus res minus attack Dudu. Again, kind of the exact opposite of the what you'd be aiming for, but it is nice to always have that near save fodder. I also managed to get a 4-star special Tana with plus speed minus HP, ending out another unit that is going to be a plus 10 merge project as a, I believe she is plus 3 in my barracks right now. Now, this is one of those cases where I do not have her resplendent, as I did not join Fey Pass until Ishtar. I was specifically aiming to get Elamine. So probably on that note, a thought about Fey Pass. I'm realistically the only thing that kind of bothers me about Fey Pass and how they did it was the fact that they did make limited heroes, specifically the ones locked behind the paywall. And the reason being is that there's a lot of skills currently in the game that are oddly enough locked behind either a seasonal wall or a legendary mythic wall. So probably one of the best examples is attack defense push compared to attack speed push. With attack speed push, you have about 27, 28, somewhere around the 30 unit mark that have that, and a good amount of those units are actively in both pools. But and then whereas you only have one unit that has the tier 3 skill at 4-star, whereas you have two units specifically that have the attack defense push 3 at 4-star. I think it's Lex and Heath, but you don't have a single unit outside of the seasonal pool or mythic or legendary mythic pool that has the tier 4, with the two from the legendary mythic being Bramimont and Thor, with the two and then the two from the other pool. I know that Bridal Sophia and Valentine Leaf, which means that it's a very hard skill to actively. Both skills are kind of actively hard to transfer. The only difference is that attack speed push, you have a very limited selection to get that push skill up into a unit. Whereas attack defense push is a very easy skill to get started, but you don't have any units that can transfer it over. The closest kind of halfway point is attack res push, where there are units in both pools, and you also have plenty of units that have it at tier 3. A lot of people, like, I think I've mentioned this a lot of people are requesting that we increase the skill cap from 4 to 5, but I still feel like that's not going to do enough work as opposed to being able to transfer over skills from 4 stars. So like a good example comes from the Rearmed Leaf. So he comes with attack defense class 4. He comes with attack defense menace and then his weapon. On base, you can transfer over his weapon provided you have a silver sword. If not, you transfer his silver sword and his other skill. And then you get the menace. Now, you could easily do it with just using Atlas, but you'd have to use up 2 slots. Or if you use, I forget which specific unit it was that has threat and attack defense 2 from the Grail shop, but you can actively transfer it only as a 1 point. But even at the best, with only transferring the weapon and the menace alone, that still only leaves you with 2 slots. No unit currently has attack defense clash. What they need to start doing instead is they need to start putting in units that have some of the tier 4 skills even as tier 3. So like one of the best examples, I'm going to go ahead and use that attack defense clash. Say that there's a unit. I'll just go ahead and do something random and say, how about Alan? Or I'll go with Old Marcus. He comes with attack defense clash as a 5 stars, but he has the ability to be pulled as a 4-star. In which case, you could transfer over the level 2 from his 4-star. You could transfer over the threaten from another unit. You could if your unit doesn't have a silver sword, you transfer over the silver sword, and then you get everything else. You get the attack defense clash 4. You get the attack defense menace, and you get his rearmed weapon. So that's it for this round. I hope to see you in another summoning session. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. It really would help me out.